Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube.
Hey, what's going on, people? This is Inflewence, and today I have Fanstoys PHANTASM, which is FT-49, and it is their masterpiece version of Mirage. Now, thank you for joining me. I have been under the weather, so this is a little late. I've had this for a week or so now. Actually came while I was sick, but this is the second time I'm recording this whole video, so hopefully it's a good one. While I was editing, it just was terrible sounding. So, because I sounded terrible. I may still sound a little congested, so bear with me. But we're gonna get through this. Off the bat, just initial thoughts. It's super cartoon accurate. This is one character that I'm okay with cartoon accuracy. I go back and forth with different characters, I guess, depending on the character. Because I remember when TEs came out, I said it was too accurate. And I liked MMCs better. Then when I got TEs, I was like, oh, no, I like this better. And it's the same with this. Like, I like the way this looks better than TEs. But I do like some stuff on TEs better than this. Just because I think they do incorporate a little more real world in their bot, even if it's tune accuracy. Like, this is completely tune accuracy. So if that's what you're looking for, this is the one that you want. Now, I'm not a price guy. Like, I'm not a price complainer. I know a lot of people complain, and prices are what they are. They're high all around the board, but everybody knows that Fanstoys are super high and people often complain about their price. I'm not one of those people, but this, I can say, I think is too much. That's my only gripe. I don't see the price like other figures. Like Perceptor, I see the price and I compare them later. But this is more comparable to me. It's not closer in size to one of their mini bots, but it's more comparable to a mini bot. The transformation is, I do like transformation a lot, and it's easy and fun. And it's just a couple things on it that I don't like. So we'll get into that. Move on to accessories. First accessory is this, which is already connected. It's permanently connected to him unless you unscrew it and take it off. And this actually comes separate, the front missile part, and you have to put that on, and it does come off if you want it to, so you can kind of make it look like it fired or have it laying somewhere. But yeah, this just comes off and you have to put it on. And I have some scrapage. I just noticed that, and it's probably from transformation. I transformed this guy. Yeah, definitely from transformation, because you stick it into here. So that's a negative. I did transform this guy about 5 or 6 times. I don't want to scrape it off. I don't know if it's paint onto here or this scraped off. I can't really tell. Definitely hide it. I can just put it below, but again, yeah, there you go. It's the chrome. So that's a negative, and that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, you have to put that on there. You have to pull this out. This is kind of hard to do, and there's a few things you have to do. I know the waist comes around like this, and you just turn it around, of course. And what else came? Oh, these were collapsed. I think some people's weren't. They might have just got collapsed in a box, but I'll show that later. Another accessory that you get is this gun. It goes as a hand, quite different, has a peg in the back, and it slots into the back of his hand. But it's basically a gun. It's his gun. It's painted like powder blue. It's super, super tune accuracy with the powder blue on different parts, which I don't know how I feel about that. And this folds up like that because it slots in on the vehicle mode. Have a card. This is his tech spec card, normal. You have the book, normal as well. get a head, an extra head. I will show that on him in a minute. Does look like it has a little imperfection. Oh no, that's just some lint or something. I don't know what that was. I thought it was scraped off. And you get two faces. Can't hold it. Actually comes on him, and I have his smiley face on now. And then you have terror face. I don't know what he's seen. He's seen some nightmarish stuff that's on him. The heads are just a slightly different mold. You can see not just his face, but the heads are the shape. Here it has a more like and here it has a more rounded like pharaoh type of look. And also you get the box. It's a normal Fanstoysbox. Got a shattered Jazz. Hopefully he's coming soon and I can get him. I definitely gonna replace my Mike Toys with this Jazz. Not that Mike Toys is terrible, not that TE is terrible. I just think these look better. It's all preference though. Let's do some comparisons. So first, gonna compare Minibot, which is Beachcomber by FanstoysToys, and Perceptor by FanstoysToys. So you can see a bigger bot and a smaller bot. You see where they are in the succession. And I think that's great. Great looking. Jumped off the screen. And the one that everybody probably wondering about is TE's Mirage. Which, like I said, this is a great figure. They're different. This is a little bigger all the way around. Like, proportions are bigger. The feet are different. I actually like the feet better, besides my little green spot that they must have replaced and didn't paint. They forgot to. That always bothers me, but it's a nitpick. There's some real world, and I'll get into the comparisons later when I compare them together. Like, I'll do a comparison video and we'll see. Articulation, you have this thing that moves. It can go back, it can flip back. So if you don't want him to have it, it look like it's on his back. You can see it a little bit. I think you could get it a little more streamlined so it's not as visible. You got that. His head, he goes up about that much because of this back here. It's kind of hard. You can move this out and then have him go back. You can have him look up, so you can move it out and then push it up a little bit where it's not pegged in, but it still stays. And he can look up about that much. He can look up a lot. He looks down. This is straight, so he's looking down about that much. His head can spin 360. Again, you probably have to move the back part and not have it pegged in. Arms go all the way around. Not on ratchets, just regular. Goes up about this much, which isn't a great range. I mean, it's enough depending, but it's because of this. And that's something that I like on TEs. I like that these could move and they're not really part of the arm. And these are a part of the arm, which is accurate, but then that means you can't get it out the way in order to get this arm all the way up. So you have a more than 90-degree elbow bend. Goes down, you have the bicep swivel up here. You have his hand swiveling back and forth. Goes back and forth, and he has the pin knuckles on these, and the thumb is just straight. And of course the peg is in the back of his hand. There's that. He does get a little waist movement. It's not much. I don't even know if it's supposed to be, but he does get a little up and down movement. He gets a waist swivel all the way around, which is nice. Get these arms out the way. You get the skirts up. The side skirts are on individual pins. So you get the side skirts up. and he can do the splits, no problem. Friction, but it doesn't fail. The front skirts, you can't go up, but they're attached to his joint here, which I do like. I like when they do that. So it moves with the leg and it goes all the way up. So you don't really have to worry about it because it moves and it goes into place where it is. I always like when they do that. I said that before. I think another buy I just did had it. But unfortunately, the back skirt is not connected, which I'm not sure why they did that. Why they didn't connect the back skirt to this mechanism. I mean, it could be because of transformation. I haven't really studied it, but yeah, so that's all you're getting with the hurdles. He can front kick, but he ain't getting his foot back too far. So yeah, I don't know about that. Don't know why they did that. And didn't just hook it all together. So then when this moved, the back skirt moved as well. Would have been a better articulated leg. You can get the thigh swivel up here, but he also has knee swivel. This is mainly for transformation. And these knees don't feel great. They don't feel like they'll fail. He gets the bend, and it is a ratchet. So his knees are not going to fail as far as they feel pretty strong. But it's just weird that it has like not floppy knees, but they just give. They got a little give in them. And that's because of that swivel right there in transformation. Feet, not the greatest articulated feet. You get about that much. Rocker is nothing. And you can get up all the way because it's the spoiler, but you can't get down really any significant movement. So there are some limitations in articulation of this guy. And the back is pretty clean. So yeah, that's it. Let's get into transformations. You want to move it like that because this arm is going to be inner. But I turn it this way just so I can get access to this and know where I'm at. You flip that over, push that in. Then you create this little space here. It's going to be up against the body at the end of the day. So then you make it so it's pointing to the body. Then you can get this out of here like this. And right here is a double joint. You can double joint it up into there and in. So there we go for that. You just keep that like that for now. Again, over here, I do the same thing. I just move this like this just so I can get access easily and see. Then you flip it, push it in. Then you want to move it this way. Now, pull this kind of up. It unlocks the arm. Then you want to slide it on that double joint that the arm is on in there. Then in there like that. So you get that. Pull this out here and here. Pull this out here. You have this like this. These flaps were down in the box. You want them always up because it'll impede some stuff. But I just do it now. You pull the plug out that's keeping this from going in and out, and then you push it all the way in. Then you put the plug back in that keeps it from moving. Then you can move this up here like this, and it'll eventually go in there. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Right here, you want to pull this on the side, away from the body, away from the body. And be careful because all this stuff is close. It doesn't really rub, but it could eventually scratch the paint off. You know how it is with painted parts. Love them, but they do scratch. And you can move this head around like that. Push this up. And these tires, this is something that I don't like. They're like stuffed in there. They're rubber tires, so they're stuffed in there, and you got to get them out. And while you're getting them out, you got to pull them out like this as well, and then get this out because they're underneath this, so this doesn't move all the way up. Then you just move this. You might as well move this all the way up. Get this around here like that. Push this peg in, and then you can pull this peg out underneath here, and that's going to peg in right there and keep that locked where it needs to be. Put this missile in here. But before you do that, you need to spin this around, because spin that around so this crotch piece is up. It's at the top of the car. Now you can stick this in this hole right here, and you got to try to push that in at the same time you're pushing this up, and you're pushing this down on this double hinge here, and it all goes fairly well. Then you push it in, and it fits in there like that. Then you can lock that in there. I leave these wheels like this just to give extra room for all of this stuff to go up. Now you can move this stuff up and lock it. If you have these wheels up, it'll hit this and all of this, so I just wait till last to do all that. Now for the legs, which aren't too difficult. There is a couple spots that were not explained well. I used the video directions, so we'll see. So you pull this out here, spin this tire around so it's on the outside, and just leave it like that. Pull this out again, spin that tire around, leave it like that. You want to pry this open, and it's quite tight sometimes, I believe, because of the paint. Now this is very important. You want the legs to have the cut joint going down. See this joint like this? You gotta move it so it's like that. And basically the back of the knee should be pointing this way. And that, I missed that step, or they didn't do that step, because if you keep the legs where it is, because then you have to move this, which is the knees, back to being straight. That way it gives you enough clearance here to get close enough together to combine these all, push them all together. I was trying forever to get these things together, all this stuff that you're about to see, and it wouldn't go together because I missed a step where you have to move these legs like this. All right, so let's go. I usually pull this out, even though it'll fall in. I usually just pull it out because it's going to have to be out eventually. Now this can be tight, but you got to pry that off of here. Pry this off of here. And that unlocks the leg to get all this stuff out of here. You have this, all of the, you're wondering where the stuff went. That's where it went. All the car stuff, which I think is clever. I do like that. Now what you want to do is close this a little bit. Move this up a little bit, because you're going to need clearance. And see how you just get clearance right there to move that around. And basically move that around, push that down, then you push this back up again. Do the same thing over here. Move that down. Then you want to move this up a little bit just so you can get the clearance to move this around like that. Then move this back down, and you can move this back up. Now this, unfold these, or just unfold this out. And you can try to put these legs together. It has to be right here. They may come out. I do it whenever, but for the sake of this review, I will do it now. Push that together, push this together. And this is the part I couldn't get together because the legs weren't right. If the legs are not right, you won't have enough room. Like, it won't be close enough. And this will stay better once you push this down here, which gets it. So you can do that now. Just push this down here, and then you want to wrap this around this little piece there. And it kind of clamps it together and keeps it all together. Alrighty. It's the first time that has come off. And that's happened a couple times, not with that particularly. But there's a couple pieces on here that's popped out. One of these shoulder screw covers popped off. And luckily I found it, but it was by luck. So once you get this closed like where it's supposed to be, this is really tight. So it kind of holds all this together. And then when everything gets together, it'll just hold it even more. So now you can move these fists like this in order to have them in some type of slimlined way so it can fit up against this body. So now you want to push this in here. Let me show it back here, because and they show you doing it earlier. You can do it earlier, but it does get a little difficult at times. There you go. Just get it up. I like doing it now so I can see that it's not scraping. Then you just get it all the way here. Accordion this on these two bars, double hinge bars, and get that around everything. And this right here has to kind of go down after you get it past the bars here. There we go. And you see this got pushed, this peg got pushed up on both sides because it pegs into the wheels. So that's why you need it. It basically solidifies everything. You push that down. So now this a tab into here. It's kind of intuitive. There's a tab right here that goes underneath this peg that tabs into the side. And then there's the tab right here that tabs into the tires. You basically get that like this. There we go. Kind of tabbed in automatically there. You do this side as well. Show a little better. There we go. And that tabbed in automatically as well. Then you push this flap down, pull these up, get the tires in the proper position. Put this flap down over here. Solidify everything, and then push these down in the back. Get the spoiler situated. And I think we're done. There we go. And it's very, very nice. Rolls good. Here we are with the machine. It's nice. It has the markings on the side. Spoiler, the baby blue spoiler. I like the more real world spoiler that TE has, but this is super cartoon accurate. It looks like a nice vehicle. It's a nice chunk. See if I can get a little bit better. Yeah, it has a steering wheel. Doesn't really have seats, but it looks like seats. 2 mirrors, roll bar, rubber tires again, like I said. It's a good good figure. And then you can put this back here. I really think it was supposed to, this little tab right here is supposed to, there's a little hole back there. I think it's supposed to tab in, like you put it, clamp it, and then it tabs in back there. But it doesn't really work, I think, because of the paint. But it stays on because of the paint. So it doesn't really matter. You can just push it back there and then leave it like that. And then he's armored up. I don't know, this will probably go down as probably one of the easiest fanstoys transformations. I don't think it's too frustrating. There's some parts that don't work as great as I would like. Again, I don't think it's hard though. It's not hard. It was hard getting these tabbed in at first when I first did it, but afterwards it's simple. I think most of the issue is trying to get stuff out, like trying to pry stuff out. So let's go pull that out, and that down like that. I just both sides the same. Pull that down like that. I pull this out. I just start to get stuff out of here. Pull this out, and you got to have this up a little bit in order to get all this around these two things. And I'll show it from the bottom. That's basically what you're doing. You're trying to get this out and around, and I kind of push these pegs up too so they don't get in too much. And you want to move this out as much as possible because they're also grabbing onto it. There you go. Move that back like that. Now you can get this apart somewhat. I moved that down so I could get the clearance to move the feet back where they belong. I just do stuff as it comes. There are some stuff you have to do before, and you can tell, again, it's intuitive, which is that, which isn't. Move this up here. Move that, move this. Again, move this. Flap that, leave that like that. And you can move this down here and get that into the leg where it should be, and flip that in order to lock it so it doesn't move around. Flip this tire around so you don't forget, and then lock that. And move this down here. The good thing is you can do all this without doing anything else, and you can move the stuff around like last. And you just peg that in. It's tight. Again, over here, move this down here. Peg that in. Peg this in. Move this around. Peg this in there. While I move the legs back to where they should be. And just so you know, the cut joint goes up like that. And if you need even more confirmation, the knee joint is in the back. Move that, move this. Now I move these down here like this just to get it out the way for these arms. Then you're gonna move the arms out. They usually come out of that, so you can just put it where it needs to go. It does need to be that way, but you don't have to worry about it right now if it doesn't come out, but most likely it will. There we go. Then you want to get this out of here like this, and this can get kind of difficult, and is where I think it was scratched, because you have to try to, and you can also move this up to get your finger over there. So you can move this up, flip this peg in, and then you can kind of work this missile out with your finger on one side and work it on this side. Kind of pull that out like that, and then move it down and move it out. You got it. Then you can pull this out here. Oh, make sure, I've done this a couple times. You see me trying to pull that out and it's not going anywhere. It's because of this flap. Push these flaps up. Don't forget that, because this won't move and you may break those flaps off. Isn't ideal. Move that down like that. Now with this up, and flip this peg. Flip that peg out like that. Then move this down. Make sure the head stays out. And as you're moving it down, you have to move these tires in, because the tires go underneath this blue part. And as you're doing it, this is one of the parts that I don't really like that much, because you have to kind of force the tires in there. But it works. Force the tires in. The peg you pulled out should peg in right there. But you can move this up now that you have this, all this down here, because it sandwiches these on the side. You just gotta make sure you move that around everything. Push it up. Move this around all of this. Push that up in there. Move the head around. Push this in here in the body. Move the waist around now, because you have the missile out. Then you can tab that there and just flip the missile around. And you can see where the missile is definitely getting scratched up. I've transformed this guy probably 8 times. Just so you know how much it takes. And shoot. You want to pull this out and pull this out, and then stick that in there so this doesn't move. Now you can try to adjust this missile. I was trying to adjust it so it's more on the back end. There is a certain way you have to put the missile, and there's only 2 slots. So it's more so up here. Yeah, so that is an issue. I'm sure you could probably reach out and get a new missile. It's like a little accessory. Move this like this. Well, I move it like this so I can fool with this. And just pull that out and you unbend it. Again, it's unfurl. It's intuitive because you know what the arm's supposed to look like. Connects there. I know some people will have an issue with this hollowness right here. I do not. However, it is, especially on a toy of this cost, I can see people having an issue with it, and I don't think it should be there. Just noting it. It definitely is an issue. I should say that. But it doesn't bother me. Put that like that. Spin this around again so I can fool with this. Hold that up here. Put that down here. Spin this around. Spin this around. And here you go. This is Phantasm. FanstoysToys Mirage Masterpiece version. Again, if you're into this, if you're into the cartoon aesthetic, this would be the one to get if you are into the super cartoon aesthetic, I would say. Thanks for joining me for this video. I appreciate it. Again, apologize if my voice is not the greatest. All right. Wish everybody well, and I'm out.
Life ain't no. As long as you alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want it.